Salina. It's a bad baby. Oak Cliff girl. Can't make you change my world. Damn, you're so fine, girl. Oak Cliff girl. Put them wheels on and roll.
Welcome to Selena's Couch, where you are welcome to be free to be yourself. So you can lay your head on my couch, on my pillows.
It's all good, we can do whatever we wanna do now. I'm in my bag right now, and I got a feeling, babe, yeah. You're gonna be my number one lover. Spending the night making love to each other. With the lights on top of the covers. Just me and you, babe. And I feel like you're my
Love you to Reese's Pieces.
Get you a word. Nana nana boo boo.
Hello. Thank you for coming through on this Sunday, this beautiful day. Hey Arabia, hey Marissa, hey Darren, how are you? Good to see
Hey,
you. Good to see
ladies.
you. I got my wonderful co-host with me today, Tyron Moffitt. What's up, Bama? Good to see you. Good to see you.
What's
Boy,
goody?
you've been
What's
popping
goody?
in these streets, Bama. What you got going on? But let me make you a mod as well. Good to see you, Arabia. I hope you're doing well. Let me get my other channel up so I can do this. But Tyron, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Miss Lady. How are you? Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday to you.
Did
I
you go to
am
church
doing,
today?
huh?
Did you go to church today?
Well, you know I have to, cause honey, you know how
Nice.
these devils out here, you know, they get your
Y-
girl off a little bit. So
Yeah,
sometimes
they dancing.
I have to regroup.
Right.
So hey Reggie, what's good? Hey
Empress Lonnie, one love. What's good?
Lonnie, shout out to Lonnie. Lonnie introduced me to Tyron. So shout out to her for that. And she didn't mind sharing. So I thank Empress Lonnie One Love for sharing Tyron with me. He's been a blessing. Yeah, he knows about this celebrity stuff. Hey, what's up, Brainwaves? Good to see you. One of my favorite people. Reggie, I hope you are doing well. As I hadn't seen you in a minute, but I'm glad to see you. So shout out to Tyron. And let me see. Did I make you a mod? I thought I did.
Brian, what's
Okay, I didn't.
goody?
So Tyron, I heard your live this morning, and you guys please sub up Empress or Brainwaves, or Bama, if you can put not only your channel in the chat, but put also Tyron's, I'm calling him
Thank
Tyrone,
you.
Tyron's channel in the chat so people can sub up to him as well. And put your own channel in the chat as well. And anybody else that is a content creator, please put their channel in the chat if you can. I would highly appreciate it. I would really, really appreciate it. And thank you so much. Please press the like button as well. So this morning, as I was getting ready, I saw that Tyron was live, and hey Young Riaz, he was talking about the Kim Porter situation, the Kim Porter's book. Now it's allegedly her words, correct, Tyron? Or
Yeah, allegedly her words, but even the author said it's not Kim Porter words, word for word. He said he did embellish part of the book to make it a good, interesting read. But Kim Porter kids, P. Diddy kids, came out flatly and denied the book altogether. Don't believe the author. It's all a lie. You know,
mhm.
so for entertainment purposes only, take it as you. I believe a lot of it. To be
I do
honest,
too.
I believe a lot of it. I do believe Kim Porter believed her life was in danger, and
Mhm.
she did want to tell her story. She did want to expose the situation. Not only was her life in danger, but she witnessed a lot. She witnessed
Mhm.
this man plan and plot and put hits on people. you know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and she fell in love with him, and that's like the worst thing, right? You
Yes,
know, a
very.
woman giving her all to someone that don't even deserve a piece of her, right?
Don't even deserve it. And to from hey Ellie, from what I was getting from hearing all of this and just from the like Gene Deal, and he wasn't really into women. He
Right.
really just used women to be a beard or
Yeah.
to have children, but not necessarily he liked men,
Right.
allegedly. So basically he was living a double life. So why do you think Kim Porter sticked around for so long? Was it because of the money, the life, like the lifestyle drew her
It
in,
um
or her kids? What do you think?
it can be all of the above. More than one
Mhm.
thing can be true at the same time, right? You know, maybe it was the lifestyle and his power and influence and connections, you know, that made her attracted to him in the first place. You know, we got to remember Kim Porter was in a committed relationship with R&B singer Al B. Shaw,
Right.
right? Al B. Shaw and Diddy was friends. So Kim
Hmm.
Porter was introduced to Diddy for the first time through Albie Shore, right?
Hmm.
And so she was around in Diddy life. They was co-workers. They both was working under Andre Harrell at Uptown Records. You know,
Right.
Diddy used to come to work every day flirting with her until she gave in and, you know, started dealing with him. But
Oh.
yeah, not only was she attracted to the lifestyle, I do believe she did grow to fall in love with him. Um and what made her stay, once again, the money, the power, the influence, um
Hmm.
security, physical
Right.
abuse, mental abuse, emotional abuse, right? And Kim probably lived the second half of her life. You know, actually, she met him. She was in her early 20s, like late teens, early 20s.
Hmm.
So she felt like a prisoner probably her whole life. Her
That's
whole adult
crazy.
life, she was a prisoner under his rule, his beck and call, confined to the walls of whatever mansion he had her living in. And it wasn't
Mhm.
like she could come and go. He had security around the clock at all his property, right?
Mm.
So even if she wasn't chained to the boiler in the basement, every time
Right.
she walked out that door, I'm quite sure security got on the phone, right?
Mhm.
Puffy's such a weirdo. I'm quite sure Kim cars had trackers on it. I'm quite sure her phones was tapped, you know?
Right. Well, hey, let me just say this. I want to make sure. Hey, writers, thank you so much, Mindful. I really appreciate you for those words of encouragement. You know, every now and then, like I was telling Tyron, we need some encouragement because, like I said, just to keep us focusing on the right path. So I appreciate you for your encouragement and still believing in me and not giving up. Like not just
Right,
saying, "Don't look, I can't deal with Selena. Let me just unsub." So I appreciate you for giving me encouragement and just sticking there with me. Thank you. Hey Ellie, I don't know if I spoke to you, and all of this is allegedly.
allegedly.
Like I said, like Tyron said, the book was a little bit embellished,
Right,
but there was some accounts that some of the things in this book was actually what actually happened. Some of it,
right.
correct? Okay. So
Absolutely.
Tyron was nice enough to send me what he was going over this morning, and I want to share it with you guys. And this is fair use, copyright under section 107. So I want to make sure that, you know, I say that, and I am, you know, we're kind of doing like a reaction as well of this footage that he sent me
Right.
today, and this is what he was going over. And this is from Celie Jamila. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly.
Yeah, I believe
And
so.
she is doing the auto book, the full book. We're not going to do all of it, just going to do some. If you would like to sub up to her channel, this is her channel, Celie Jamila, and you guys check her out. So I subbed up today. So yeah, let's show her some support because she did a really great job with this. So I'm gonna start with this and then I'm gonna stop and let you, talk, Tyron, or you can tell me when you want to say something, okay?
All right, great.
All right.
Journey for Justice from the Other Side by Jamal T. Millwood for Kimberly A. Porter. Disclaimers. One of Kim Porter's final wishes was for this memoir diary to be made public. Out of protection for certain parties and their potential criminal activity, some celebrities, performers, and events have been represented with X's due to their highly explosive nature. At some point in the future, this information will be revealed to the public. Regarding Kim's sudden death and the mysterious illness of Al B. Sure and Jamie Foxx, evidence does exist that points to foul play and or poisoning. God bless Kim Porter and all of Sean Combs' victims, both male and female. Okay, y'all. There's a table of contents. We'll start with Chapter 1, Introduction. Soon after high school, I started landing modeling jobs. I couldn't believe it. It was all happening so fast. I met my husband, father of my oldest child, and one of my oldest friends in life, I'll be sure. It was a whirlwind romance. I was only 19 when we married, and no, it didn't work out. Al is still one of my best friends to this day. Our son Quincy is such a talented and wonderful young man. At that time, I had no idea my relationship with Al was going to introduce me to the man that I would spend the better part of my adult life with, a man whom I love and cherish, but eventually fear and hate. I don't want to put the cart before the horse, but I will say, although I knew what was going on, I turned a blind eye many times. Here, I have to tell the truth. Unfortunately, because deep down, I knew everything that was happening, but I lied to myself a lot.
I'm gonna say this because I had a older woman tell me this. Abused women are not stupid, okay?
Right.
And that is I would say, the misconception or um, the wrong thinking error to think that all women that are allowing abuse in their life are stupid. They're dumb. They are some of the times total opposite of that. A
Right.
lot of the times people get in situations because of different traumas that they've had in their past that they have not been able to overcome. You may see some woman like Kim Porter who's beautiful, who has the world at her feet, but she may not have the self-esteem that she should. And depending on what has happened to her in her early childhood, it can affect a woman's psyche. Okay.
Right.
And sometimes as women, we are helpers. We are, we like to fix things. And sometimes, if depending on our relationship or non-existent relationship with our father, it plays a big part in the way of how we try to help, how we try to fix things, with men or for men. And so you get in situations, and depending on your maturity at the time, you get in situations and your self-esteem is not where it should be. You get in situations with men that are no good. You
Right.
know that they're never going to change, but you still find hope. I personally have never been in that situation, and thank God, but I have had women to tell me that. So it's not because women are dumb or they're
Right.
so weak that, but sometimes, depending on a person's psyche and what they have been through, it keeps them stuck in a situation that they definitely didn't plan on being
Yeah,
in.
not only that, but that's
Mhm.
only the psychological aspect of them
Right,
being stuck, right? The physical aspect is still control,
right.
abuse, fear, you know, dominance, him feeling like he have to be the man of
Hmm.
the house and he have to
Right.
rule with the iron fist, right? Like, and that's that right there alone might overpower the psyche though, because now when she's in fear physically, she's
Hmm.
not just in fear for herself. if
Right.
there's if there's kids in the house, right? So it's
Hmm.
like she have to think for the kids. um Of course, abused women aren't dumb, they aren't slow.
Mm-hmm.
Um, right now, they might act naive, right?
Right.
They might act timid, but that's only survival,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's only survival. I have to give in, I have to conform, or I might not see tomorrow, right?
Mm-hmm.
The beatings might get worse, so,
Right.
and yeah, I wouldn't call them stupid or slow or naive for staying, but at times, to survive, sometimes not the next day or the next week, but the next hour,
Mm-hmm.
right? I mean, they living in a gated community, a big mansion, right? It don't matter what he want to do to a woman. Any man
Mm-hmm.
living in that upscale environment, the neighbors can't hear you.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody in earshot, right, works for this man, right? It's like hear no evil, see no evil. I'm turning a blind eye. Listen, I want to make it to my next paycheck, right? I don't want to get fired, you know,
Right.
and a lot of things just condone, but it's sad.
I want to speak to some of my people. Kevin. Hey, Russell. Hey, Young Riez. Hey, Duke. What's good? Slim with the two M's. My St. Louis boo. Thank you for coming through. I appreciate you guys so much for coming through. Marissa, you said our personal experience as a woman needs time to execute her plan. Yeah, because I was
Absolutely.
thinking I was thinking about Tehran. You know that movie with Jennifer Lopez in it, and what was that? Enough, and how she was basically the whole time he thought she was weak and that she wasn't making plans. She was already had some plans in head, so when she had the time to leave, she left. and
Right.
and, and I think of Sleeping with the Enemy. That was back when I was a little kid, how she had things in order. See, a lot of the times women
Sleeping
be
with the
having a
Enemy was a good
plan.
movie.
They just saying they be ready to execute it, but they got to do it at
You
the
have to
time.
plan your escape.
Yeah, they got to do it at the right time. So,
Right.
and I think that if Kim Porter was probably in that, she was probably about to really do some moves, and before she could, that's her
Yeah.
demise happened. So,
Right. I believe her biggest mistake was telling him she was going
right,
to write a book. Her
right,
biggest
that was
mistake
stupid.
was
Yeah, now
letting,
that I
yeah,
didn't understand it. I was about to say
right.
that was stupid. That wasn't that. I would say that's unwise.
You're right.
Uh, yeah, but maybe I don't know what her reasoning for doing that, but yeah, that was probably not the best thing for her to do.
He was so
Right.
charming, a wolf in sheep's clothing, a
Mhm.
devil, and I fell for it. This story must be told, despite the fact that it will hurt my children. I can't hide it any longer. Sean Combs must be stopped. Chapter 2, Humble Beginnings. I was born to loving parents, Jake Porter and Sarah L. Porter, in the Peach State of Georgia. All through Columbus High School, where I graduated in 1988, I knew I was going to be famous. In the 10th grade, one of my best friends, Tina, said to me, "You won't make it here in Georgia." I knew if I really wanted to be famous, I would have to leave my hometown, my home, Georgia. That conversation was so important as I look back now. It changed my life. I met Al while I was working in the industry. He was so dope and charming, and I had such a crush on him. We were married before I knew it, and Quincy was on the way. But I was young, and it just felt like it wasn't going to last. It was a little heated between us after we separated, but we got past that quickly. He is just a super dope guy and an amazing father. Though we separated, we are forever bonded through Quincy. Thank you, Al. I will always love you. When I met Sean, he was cool. I didn't think much of him at the time. He was just another guy at the label. Uptown was huge, and we were all living our best life. But Sean continued to lay on the charm, and before I knew it, we were dating. As a young single mom at one of the hottest companies in the world, life couldn't get any better than it did. My boyfriend was getting even bigger. He and Clive would hang out a lot, but I didn't think anything of it.
Now I'm gonna say
Sean, she
this.
talking about Diddy.
Yes. So now she is, um, with Diddy. He woo her. He charmed her like some men do. You know how these men do. They tell you all, as this older woman said, tell you all these sweet nothings in your ear. They got you
Right.
excited. They're buying you gifts. They're taking you out, spending money on you. You feeling like, oh wow, I just hit the jackpot, jackpots. And then you find out that okay, something's not right about this guy. He's hanging out. I understand he's working with Clive Davis, and those who know about Clive Davis, he is a wealthy. I think he's a record label owner, but he's very wealthy. He, I think, discovered Whitney Houston, Phyllis Hyman,
Right.
a lot of other different black, I would say black artists that are legends today.
Right.
And I don't know if I think it was Michael Jackson too. Did he discover Michael Jackson as well?
Nah.
No,
Nah.
that
That was
was Motown. He was
yeah.
Motown. But he went through after he was working with Andre, I think his name was Harrell, and then he moved on and started working with Clive Davis. Clive
Right.
Davis is he's one of those, like a lot of the, wealthy men. He, he goes both ways. He says he's bisexual. So he was hanging out with him and, they maybe was doing business, but they may were doing more than business. We don't know. You know what I'm saying?
I
But
think we know now, but
a lot of these record label, executives, they kind of break you in and not in a
right.
in a physical way sometimes. So
Right.
she probably suspicious, like, thought I hit the jackpot, but I don't know if
Nah.
I don't know. You know what I'm saying? This don't seem too right about this. So let's see.
I mean, that was his boss, and he was doing things bigger than most men dare to even dream. Then it happened. I mean, okay, I was a little bit of a freak. I really enjoyed myself with my partner, and toys are one thing, but I never imagined having a man I was dating ask me to use a toy on him. The first time he said he
Wow.
would just want to experiment, try something new. I was grossed out, but he kept begging. He said it would only be this one time, and he was just curious. I was only 20 at the time. I said, "What the hell?" I hated it. He bled from it, and there was shit on it. I left him alone after that. Girl, Lord.
Oh my god.
Nasty
Okay.
work.
Yeah, nasty
God
work.
damn.
Yeah, nasty work. All right. It was blood and poop on it. Oh my gosh.
Pause.
Okay.
Do you want me to pause it?
No, I was
Okay.
telling. I mean, that was a figure. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
okay.
Chapter 3 Second Chances. Sean kept reaching out, and I kept ignoring his calls. Eventually, in a few weeks, we ran into each other at an event. He came over and sat next to me. We were cordial. He flattered me by saying, "You look so amazing." I replied with a simple, "Thanks, Sean." I tried to get up to leave, but he pulled me by my arm. So as I turned to him, he looked deep into my eyes and said, "Look, what happened between us was weird, but I really care about you. Can we?" He paused. I tried to use this as my attempt to escape. I pulled my hand back and said, "Sorry, Sean, I have to go." "Please, I think I'm falling in love with you. Can we talk?" My breath was taken away. Did he say he loved me? It was so fast. I wasn't aware of this as his manipulation tactic. Not yet.
Men know, women know what to say, and especially if they have a very manipulative personality, like I'm
Right.
gonna say P Diddy. I ain't gonna say allegedly. I really believe he does have a manipulative personality, and he knows what he's doing. And he knew at the time she was young. She was a single mother.
Right.
She was very immature in a lot of ways, especially to some of the tactics that sometimes men use. And she fell into it. She fell into it
Absolutely. Charming
because,
her, risen her up,
right,
and Diddy manipulated in every corner of his life.
right,
Everybody. There's nobody Diddy dealt with on a daily basis that didn't say he wasn't right. He's very manipulating.
Right, very manipulative, and that love, that word love. If you haven't heard it a lot, or if you haven't never really heard a man
Mm-hmm.
say that, like some women, they think, oh, I've met the one just
Right.
by saying somebody is really just paying attention. Hey, Marissa, how are you? Hey, Cutting Edge,
Hey,
good to see
chat.
you.
What's
Real
up?
Topics, good to see you. Uh, you are going to fall into it. That love word, that L word that every woman wants to hear a man
Absolutely.
say to her. Every woman wants to hear that.
Yet. God, I was so young and naive. He continued, let's just have dinner. And I fell for it. 2 days later, we went for a drink at a lounge in Lower Manhattan. The place was nice. Sean was really coming up and pulling out all the stops to impress me. He pulled out my chair for me to sit. Back then, he was always a gentleman. He smiled and he said, look, as he sat across from me, I hated it and I never want to do it again. Give me another chance. Over coffee the next morning, I decided to give him another chance. For the next year and a half, things seemed pretty normal. It was fun. Things were going great, and we were living the dream that I thought I dreamt out throughout my youth. Sean and Clive were working on Bad Boy, and he had his first couple of artists. He picked up Craig Mack, then some rapper from the West Coast called Notorious B1 to help Chris develop. He was collaborating.
So, do you guys know who that is?
Notorious B1.
Now, I'm asking the audience. It's Biggie.
Mm-hmm.
So, for those who do not know, because at first I had to ask you who Chris
Yeah,
Tyron,
Biggie.
and that's Christopher Wallace, which is Biggie. So
Mm-hmm.
he met Biggie, and they he saw his talent. So of course he wanted to develop his talent, and he wanted to maybe get him, I guess, to sign on to his label. But at
Right.
that time, I don't even think he was still working with Andre and Clive, wasn't he?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Collaborating with the biggest names in hip hop to make it happen. Things could not be more amazing. Then he asked me to do it again. It was insane. Sean said, baby, I can't stop thinking about it. What the hell are you talking about? I responded. Sean continued, I just can't stop thinking about that night. It was amazing. Can you screw me one more time, please? I
What?
became infuriated.
Nasty work.
Why don't you just go to Clive? He's the one screwing you, isn't he? Oh my God.
What?
Then Sean hit me. This was
Oh my God.
She said, why I gotta do all that when you over there with Clyde anyway?
Right. Hey,
You
Cutting
over there with
Edge.
Clyde getting bust down anyway. Get out of here, nigga.
Hey, hey, Cam Cam. Hey, Vanessa. Oh my God. Did y'all hear that?
Nasty
Did you
work.
hear that, Marissa? This is some nasty work. So she already know. Whoa. You already getting it in with Mr. Clyde.
the first
Mm-mm-mm.
time, but he slapped me hard. Before I could form words, he began to beg, I'm sorry. Holding my cheek where he hit me, I turned and ran off. That should have been it, but I guess I'm a glutton for punishment. He sent flowers and a bunch of expensive gifts. Then we bumped into each other at another industry event. He sat down next to me. This was deja vu. Sean started. Imagine running into you here. Get the fuck away from me, I forced out. He became more serious as he said, look, baby, I'm sorry, but I just glared at him. There's nothing you can ever say to me. Nothing. After an awkward silence, he finished, you know, I love you. I love your son. He's my son. I don't know how to fix this, but
Oh, that's what they do. I love you. Your child is just like my child. Let's just give this another chance. All this BS. Tyron, what you
Nasty
think
work.
about this already?
Shit. She telling the truth so far. So far, sound like the truth. It sound like the start of a real toxic relationship, right? And
Uh-huh.
already this relationship was heading nowhere fast. He's into something sexually that you're not into, and he's
Right.
trying to get you to keep performing that, right? And it's like, nah, it ain't gonna work. If this is
Right.
what he's into sexually, and you trying to find a man you can spend the rest of your life with,
Exactly.
how is that going to work? You're going to do something sexually you don't want to do for the rest of your life? Like, how is that? Because ain't no way in hell he gonna say, all right, I don't want to do that no more because
Right.
you ain't into it, right? The
Exactly.
chances of him stopping, so the relationship was doomed from the very beginning. That alone, right?
Exactly.
It's
Exactly.
over.
I'm just saying, if you want to get okay, like use butt plugs, or you're trying to have anal with me, I'm going to be looking at you as a suspect to me, and I'm going to run.
Right,
Because one thing about me, however you want to live, if you want to live an alternate lifestyle from, that's fine. That I don't have
right,
anything to do with that. But don't put me where you just using me for a beard and you really like a man.
right.
See, it's a and
And she was
Diddy,
just a trophy. That's exactly
yeah,
what
she
she
was just a
was.
trophy because of her
She was the
beauty.
trophy piece.
Right. And he knew he needed that because he was in an industry where you had to be that powerful man with that beautiful trophy on your
Right.
arm, that
Absolutely.
eye candy. And that's what he wanted. He wanted the image, but that's not really who he was. He had already been dibbling and dabbling in that stuff. That's why it was so common for him to ask her to get those toys. If you come anywhere trying to do anything like that to me, I'm already like, nah, I'm putting my clothes on. I'm getting the heck up out of there. You're not for me, and I'm not for you.
Nasty. God damn. Did he?
Yeah, we ain't doing that. I ain't. We ain't doing that. I'm not for you.
I'll do anything. I'm sorry. Shit, he can be so sweet. Here we go with the love thing. This time, it's not falling in. He was great with Quincy, and to be honest, despite everything, I missed him. As he stood to walk away, I
Oh my God.
remember hearing myself say, "Call me later." What the fuck was wrong
Oh
with
my
me? Chapter
God.
Yes.
4 is forgiveness. Sean arrived with flowers in hand. He wanted to see Quincy. He was so good with him, and Quincy ran over to hug him. I felt my heart melting. He asked Quincy, "How you doing, Tiger?" Quincy looked so innocent as he responded, "I'm good. I miss you." Sean's response sounded genuine. "I miss you too. We'll hang out tomorrow, okay?" "Okay." Sean gave him a little love tap on the butt. "It's bedtime." Quincy replied, "Okay, good night," as he turned to head toward his room. Here was the man I fell in love with. But what was I thinking?
Yes. What were
Shit,
you
not
thinking?
only does he want butt plugs, he slapped the shit out of me. So
Right.
why am I still talking to him? They say love is blind.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm one of them people in the movies. I be talking to the screen like, why did you do that? That's stupid.
Right.
Like I be
Right.
and sometimes like I was at the movies with this one guy, he was like, okay, like she gonna talk throughout the whole thing
You talking through
because
the whole
and I'm
movie.
trying my best not to be annoying, but this is a reaction video as well. So did you have
Absolutely.
anything you want to add to this?
Nah, so far, once again, this is the beginning of a very toxic relationship by a man that's not only violent, unpredictable, but narcissistic and think the world revolve around him. It's crazy. So let's go.
Yes, indeed. Mindful, you a mess. Yes, I just cut up. I just cut up a little bit sometimes, not all the time.
Fine, but is it stupid too? As Quincy left, Sean looked at me and smiled. "Baby, let's go have some fun. The babysitter is on the way. I just want to show you a good time."
Nasty
I was
work.
so mad at myself for melting as I said, "Okay." We sat on the couch laughing, genuinely having a good time when the doorbell rang. The babysitter had arrived, and so we left. As we exited the house, a big man climbed out of the limo and opened the door for us. He wore a sharp suit with a gun, noticeably tucked under his arm. I thought to myself, could have made it invisible, or did he want me to see it? Despite my reservations, Gene was a sweetheart. He was very courteous and polite. As
Gene
he tipped
Dale.
his head
Dale.
and said, "Good evening, ma'am," Gene drew a smile out of me as I responded, "Hello." Gene and I would see each other a lot after this day. Gene is the guy that you see speaking out against Diddy. He's been talking about that for years, so he is definitely an ally. Moving on to chapter 5, Sean kneels. The year passed.
Okay, can I say this? Well, I'm gonna ask you this. Why is it why is it that Gene Deal um has been able to speak on a lot of things that's going on in the industry, especially with Diddy, um, Usher, and uh, Justin Bieber's, and nothing has happened to him.
For one, Gene Dale was law enforcement. Gene Dale was a parole officer. Gene Dale used to work for I think, the warrant division. So he got a lot of connections in law enforcement.
Okay.
And Gene have firsthand knowledge, and he's well connected up in Harlem, right?
Okay.
Gene Dale used to run with some of the most old school gangsters back in the days. Like he know these guys from New York, they making movies about. Gene Dale used to protect those guys back in the days.
Oh, okay.
Right? So it's like Gene Dale, you ain't doing nothing to Gene. Right? You ain't
Okay.
doing nothing to that man. Right? And he was there. He actually worked for Diddy since Uptown Records
Mm-hmm.
up into like the late 90s, early 2000s. Gene Deal was there throughout the 90s. He was there.
I wonder why, when all of this stuff happened, with Kim Porter, her demise and everything, and just some of the other things like the abuse, with, some of like the two other artists that I named before. Why didn't he speak out then? Why did he? I wish I could interview him and ask him, why did you not speak out then? Or did he speak out then and no one believed him?
As far as I know, Gene Deal been speaking out in every documentary that came out about Biggie. They interviewed Gene Dale. So he
Oh.
essentially been talking about these things since Biggie been killed.
Mm.
97, 98, 99. They was making all of these documentaries and movies about Biggie.
Hmm.
Gene Dale was one of the guys they was speaking to, right?
Okay.
So he was telling the same thing he's saying on YouTube. It just wasn't no YouTube back then, right? But he's in print magazines, right? You can find him being interviewed in print magazines like Double XL, The Source back then, things like that. Gene Deal name been around a long time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you remember what year he stopped working for Diddy?
Nah, not exactly.
Mm.
Yeah, not exactly. But I think it's like the late 90s he
Okay.
stopped, and then he came back and worked for a few more years and then left again, something like that. But yeah.
Hmm.
Past, and thankfully, we didn't have many bad arguments. Although Sean was strangely getting into voodoo, he would put curses on people, and I wasn't sure how to respond to that craziness. My problem as a single mother was I wanted to be married. Girl, what a contrasting statement. He always had excuses and delays when it came to committing to marriage. His label was blowing up, Biggie dropped, and it was just about to be over. He also signed Mary J. Blige, and of course, when I found out that he slept with her, we fought. He claimed it was a mistake, and my stupid ass took him
Nasty
back.
work.
Again, Sean asked me for
So he had also an affair with um
Mary J. Blige.
Mary J.
Whoa. Diddy was not playing. He was running around.
So he was sleeping with men and women. So at that time, he probably was just, he felt like he was straight. He probably was just experimenting with the men, maybe.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Nah, because at this point, he got Bad Boy Records. So it's beyond experimenting,
Okay.
right? Andre Harrell and Clyde Davis been broke him in. That's how he got the money for Bad Boy Records, right? So
Mhm.
like, yeah, nah, he's well experienced at this point. He's wilding now. Now it's about the money and the power, right? I got the world in the palm of my hands. I'm invisible. It's at that
Mhm.
point now. He got Biggie. Biggie just dropped his first album, right? So yeah. Yeah, he got he got that on Craig Mack. Yeah, he's wilding
So
right now.
he got the power now. He's a big
Yeah.
man out there. Okay, okay. Moving and shaking. I got you.
a threesome with her. At first, I was mad, But Mary was beautiful. It was our first threesome, and I loved it. Mary was sexy. I would not be doing this a lot, but it was so hot. I was young and exploring my sexuality was enticing. I'll just throw in the allegedly on this because, whoa. Over the years, we brought other women into our bedroom periodically, and we were happy. That is until one day I came home into a situation that went from awkward to a nightmare. Quincy was with the babysitter, and Sean was sitting with Albie Sure at the dinner table. I had a child with Al, and Sean was the father in Quincy's life. What? The awkwardness of all of us being together had dissolved a long time ago, but it was still weird that they were here in my home together alone. I sat down and we had drinks. It was fun and conversation was cool until it wasn't. What? Al was a
Nasty
little
word.
loose after a couple of drinks. I remember him saying, "It's still weird seeing you with my friend, but you're happy, so I'm happy for you guys." Sean responded, "Thanks, man. Me and you, we've shared so much." Al replied coolly, "Word." The conversation took an odd and awkward turn when
What?
Sean said, "Well, we all been together sexually, but not together." What? I was shocked for a moment as quietness lingered in the room. I asked, "What do you mean by all together?"
Yeah, what do you mean? What do
Diddy
you mean?
Wildin. He got
Wow, not my Al B. Sure.
that's
Oh
Kim
my
Porter
God.
baby daddy, ex-husband.
Oh my God.
He over visiting and Diddy like, yo, we might as well all just do.
That should
Diddy
have
was
been his clue. That should have been his, I would say, his cue to be like, nigga, what you talk like? I would, if I, the man, I don't even know
yeah,
what to say. If
nasty word.
I would want my man, well, ex man, to be like, are you, bugging? Like, hell no, we ain't doing none of that. Like,
Right.
what? And
Right.
she should have said something. She should have been like, are you crazy? Like,
Right.
this is crazy. It got me all tied tongue, disbobulated. I'm just like, what? This is
Now
crazy.
at this point, they
Oh my
I'll
God.
be sure probably don't know Diddy talking about, listen, we all could be involved, but in reality, Diddy want I'll be sure, right? So it's so in the moment, I'll be sure not even realizing that probably. Like, I don't know, it's all weird, B.
Maybe
Right?
maybe he put something in the drink because he allegedly be putting stuff in people's drinks. Allegedly. So
Yeah.
wow. Okay,
This
let's
shit
keep
is
going
weird.
because this is crazy.
Al shifted uncomfortably, but Sean didn't
Right.
hesitate. You know how we sometimes invite other people into our bed? I couldn't believe it either. "Oh, hell no, Sean. This is my son's father. Al, say something." What
Right.
Al said was mind boggling. "I don't know. It could be kind of hot. I miss you in that way." Nah.
Out with the shit.
Although I couldn't believe Sean would do this, the truth was I still cared about Al, and this could be very hot. Whoa. I just didn't want it messing up my relationship. You should say relationships, right? Plural. And if things become awkward, how would it affect Quincy? I think that's a great thing to think about. Think about your child. Because, whoa. So I asked, "Are you both sure?" I imagined both of them inside of me. I knew this would be awkward sexually. There'd be some bumping of genitals. Whoa. But what happened next, I couldn't imagine in my wildest dreams. It says Al, and then there's like X, 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 X. I couldn't believe it. I stood there in shock. But when Sean X, X, and X and X, I ran out of the room. This was too much. I couldn't.
Wait a minute.
She's saying X's because those is powerful names she don't want to reveal at the time of the writing, right? So at the time she was writing this book, she ain't want to disclose those names. That was in the beginning of the book. They was explaining that if you see an X, then that's somebody higher up, a real powerful individual, and she was scared to actually write their names out. But
So okay,
yeah,
so
go
take
ahead.
me back because I got confused. When she talking about the ex, she was saying that they were in the room too.
Yes, other people. other people. She just thought it was gonna be the three of them, and it turned out to be some wild, freaky shit.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Now Kim Porter, she was something else too. Now she
Yeah.
really had a
Rest in peace
large
to Kim.
sexual appetite. Oh my God.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
that's
ever want
wild.
to have that large of a sexual appetite. That's just weird.
But did she have
Sean
the
called out to
appetite, or
me.
was she like? I don't know. Was she forced to do this? Like, I mean, she's saying she was enjoying it, but like,
I
I
think it
don't
could have
know.
been both.
Both, right?
Like I said, her psyche, and then
Right, right,
her, and it's like she had some enjoyment, because let's just be honest, if as humans, any type of anything that's risque or sinful, we
right,
gravitate to it more than
right.
something that is good and just boring. But we get a thrill, and some of us more than others, we have a very high appetite for excitement, the thrill of getting caught, or the thrill of it being so sorted or illicit.
Absolutely.
I don't know how to describe it, but I don't ever want to be where I'm to the point where I just go beyond my moral compass. It's just,
Exactly. And
you
she
know,
was well past that.
yeah,
Like Kim was
yeah,
wilding.
that was a bit much. But yeah, okay.
Oh,
Wow.
come on, Kimmy. They didn't chase after me. They X, X, and X. I couldn't get the image out of my mind. I couldn't even be with Sean for a while, but that wouldn't be the last time I saw Sean in a compromising position, not by a long shot. One day I found the vault where he kept all of his encounters with men. And yes, he kept a record of it, but that's for later. Pause. I do know or have heard, I'll be sure says that this has nothing to do with him. He has never been in that position. Okay, starting with chapter
You see?
6. Hawk is what it's called. Biggie took over East Coast rap, and Sean was the brilliant mind that orchestrated it. He hired people to teach Chris how to flow and write lyrics. He hired the best producers to do the beats, although he took credit for them, and the music was unstoppable. At this point, Sean was sleeping with all the power players and everyone that wanted to do music, wanted to be a bad boy. Sean wheeled and dealed in a way that would have been unthinkable to many. He slept with guys that really control the music to stay on top. A lot of names average people have never heard of. These are the guys that make the decisions on who is winning and who is not. He hosted
Wow.
parties that were just fancy names for orgies. And
Those all the record label execs.
when I met Tupac, Sean and I had an open relationship, and yes, I slept with Pac. He was sexy. Sean didn't mind, well, not until he tried to get Pac to join us. Pac was not good with that. This is where their relationship became strained. Tupac wasn't going to accept Sean's advances. Pac was not gay, and he was pissed about his advances. We were all in Sean's house. I was drinking, they were smoking, and everyone was relaxing. Sean came in on what I was sure he would call a smooth approach. My baby is bad, isn't she? Buck threw me a sly smile. Hell yeah. I felt myself blush. Sean was now in full swing. Think you hit it harder than me? I couldn't believe he disrespected me that way. I was not playing with my response. Sean, what the fuck? Pac came to my rescue, or my defense rather. Damn, bro.
Nasty work.
Mm.
Mm-mm-mm.
I thought I heard it all. This is some of the most weirdest stuff.
He tried to get Tupac to have a threesome with him and Kim Porter. Pac, like, nigga, you playing yourself. Like, now you going too far. You heard? Like,
Right.
now you taking things too far. And he like, how you offering me this in front of her? Like, this shit is mad
Right.
disrespectful. Like, yeah,
Oh my
all
God.
out of bounds.
Because they at one point they were saying that which I didn't, we don't know, but I didn't they used to say Tupac was gay, but you
Yeah,
know,
that was a rumor too at some point.
yeah, but you can't go by rumors. But
Yeah,
like in this book, allegedly they're saying that he was not into that.
he
Like,
wasn't in that. And there's so many accounts of him being in a position. Quincy Jones, I heard, tried to do something crazy to him, and
Right.
he spazzed on Quincy. Then there was rumors that something did happen between him and Quincy, but yeah, it's crazy.
Wow.
Well, you ain't got to do a sister that way. Tupac appeared upset behind Sean's words, but Sean went in for the kill regardless. I think my dick bigger than yours. I bet I
What?
can make her come faster than you. What's up?
What?
Pac was appalled. What the
Yeah.
fuck are you talking about, nigga? I ain't trying to run no fucking train. Sean continued. What are you scared of? Let's see who fucks better. Let her be the judge. Yes,
Diddy was
at this
wild.
point, we're inviting others into our bed for a while, but I am not used to and will not stand for disrespect. I wasn't the only one upset. Hawk shouted, Nigga, you talking about pulling your fucking dick out? Sean was undaunted. What, you scared? Tupac simply left, which is the right thing to do. Because what the
Right.
heck?
Fuck
Things
up
were
out of there, Pop.
contentious since then. You
Yeah. Pac like, nah,
Pac got him. Pac
nigga,
said,
you
"Man, I'm about to kill
weird.
this nigga." Pac
He's
said, "I'm about
like,
to kill this nigga,
right.
man."
He was like,
This
you're weird. Like, I ain't doing none of that. That's just
Yo,
crazy.
the Diddler was wilding wild. He was wilding way back then. He
But
was wilding way back then.
maybe she has Stockholm syndrome. I don't know what it is, but why would you allow somebody to just use, I mean, even if you do like a lot of sex, like say for
Hmm.
instance, she's one of those women that like a lot of sex with, maybe
Hmm.
different type of partners. But why would you allow your body to be used like that? Like, I can't comprehend that. As a woman, men,
Yeah.
you it's a double standard when it comes to men and women. Men can go out there, whore around, be with any type of woman they want to, or man, or whatever they want to be with. But women, people look down on women when they have that, they have a very
Right.
strong sexual appetite and they are with multiple people. I mean, if that's something you want to
Yeah.
do with your body, hey, it's your body. But it's like, to me, it seemed like she kind of struggled with liking it and not liking it.
See, me, when it comes to being in a relationship with Diddy, it almost doesn't matter if she liked it or not.
Right.
She didn't have a choice, right?
Mhm.
Because that's what he wanted, right? So whether she liked it or not, she still would have been forced to perform these acts and be a part of these freak offs. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because no matter the stage of the relationship, he was still abusive. He was still controlling.
Right.
He
Right.
still
Right.
demanded what he wanted, right? And you can be forced to do something so long, you begin to like it, right? Like,
Mm-mm.
and like you don't aspire to be a crackhead, but
Mm-mm.
if a motherfucker tie you up and force crack down your throat, right, you might begin to like crack, right? Like, right, like
Yeah.
you
Right.
might start getting high on your own, right? Like,
Right. Right. That's
yeah,
crazy.
this shit is
Oh,
crazy.
I think the two could not be in the same room. Pac avoided me as much as he did Sean. When they did bump into each other, the tension was palpable. It felt like blows could be thrown at any moment. Months passed with only the tension between them. It was uncomfortable, but nothing like life or death. Then one day, while we were at the studio, it happened. I walked into Sean's office and he was having the conversation. Sean sat across from Jimmy Henchman. Don't leave that fucking studio alive. I don't think I was supposed to hear it. I continued as if
He's
I
talking
didn't.
about
Hey,
the
Sean.
Tupac
Good morning,
quad
Jimmy.
shooting.
that was the first time that Tupac got shot, and that's when he
Yes,
blamed Biggie for it. Correct?
right.
Okay.
Absolutely. That's when he blamed Biggie, Bad Boy Records, Diddy. Yup. And um he was actually going back and forth to court for like uh essay case. He
So,
was at yeah.
so do you think that, I believe, allegedly Sean Diddy had something to do with? Do you think that Biggie had something to do with it as well?
Um Not necessarily, right? I don't even see why Big Wood, what anything to do with it, right? It's Tupac. There was no beef between them, really, right? There was no beef
So
between
they were
Biggie and Tupac.
friends.
Yeah, they was friends, right? There was no beef, right? They was friends. That was all Diddy feeling like Tupac might expose me, or Tupac might try to take Biggie from me, right? Like Tupac was a threat in Diddy
Wow.
minds. This nigga was a threat. This nigga know I go both ways. I tried to come on to him. He shot me down. It looked like his tension there. He haven't dealt with me since, but he's still friends with my artists. My
Hmm.
artist is having a disdain as far as our business. He went off the label, right?
Hmm.
Like Tupac can really hurt my career right now. I gotta get Tupac out of here. And this is
Hmm.
what Diddy thinking. You know what I'm saying? Nasty
Um,
work.
to answer your question, Amber, her name is Silly Jamila, and here's her channel right here. If you could see it, and
Right.
I don't know if another mod that could do it, that could put her link in my chat so that if you guys want to check it out on your own, you're more than welcome to. But this is the person that's reading it. So let me go back up.
They didn't seem to think I heard anything. I'm ordering breakfast. Smiling. Sean replied first, let me get eggs, sunny side up, and grits, and orange juice. I could see he was hungover. Good. I don't want him knowing I know anything. If he just put a hit out on Pac, knowing something could be dangerous. Jimmy, apparently not hungry, said nothing for me. As he stood up to exit the room, he said to Sean, let's make that happen. Then nodded to me and said,
Mm.
Kim, always a pleasure. With a wink to me and a nod to Sean, he turned and walked out. Jimmy was a part of our intimate circle. I went on as nothing was happening. I'll make the call now. I smiled as I left, hoping I wasn't white as a sheet. I wasn't in the studio the night Pac survived being shot. Thank God. From what I understand, Sean and Chris saw Pac at the studio after he'd been shot and did nothing. The way God works, after being shot, Pac made it to the elevator and tried to escape, but it stopped at the floor Sean and Chris were on. When the doors opened, they saw him lying on the elevator floor, riddled with bullets. The fact that
I
Mm-mm-mm.
remember when I saw the movie. I don't think it was Notorious. It was the one about Tupac, and
And the
even
elevator door open.
yeah, Tupac was so sure it was it was Sean, but he was really mad at Biggie. I think he was more hurt with Biggie because he blamed Biggie, and the Notorious movie, Notorious. Biggie was like, I didn't have nothing to do with that. He kept trying to
Right.
tell Tupac. Tupac was like, Nah, nigga, you had something to do with it, and
Mm-hmm.
so, but really I didn't see, we weren't there. We don't know actually what happened, but I couldn't understand. It didn't make sense for Biggie to do it to me. It would make more sense for Diddy to do it
Right.
because Diddy had to knock out the competition. Plus, he didn't like the fact that he was rejected by Diddy.
Right.
I mean, by Tupac.
Pop. You're right.
So I really felt like Biggie probably he didn't have any idea of what was going on.
None whatsoever. So when that elevator door opened, Biggie was more shocked than anything. Like, oh, right? Like,
No, yeah,
damn, it was Pac that got shot. Right?
right,
Diddy looking like, damn, this nigga survived. Right?
right,
So
right, right. That's what
this shit
it,
is nasty work, man.
I mean. He's just diabolical, and
Nasty
this is
work.
allegedly. Like I said, he hasn't been convicted yet, but I really feel like this guy here. I don't even know what to say. This guy is just a evil to me, and I could be wrong, but to me he comes off as not only a weirdo, but he comes off to me as an evil person. Like, he is
Right.
so power hungry. He don't care
Right.
who he hurts. He don't care who he unalives. He just, it's all about his power.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really good to see that now. Hopefully he's going to be humbled after all of this situation. Hopefully he will not get away with what he has done to these people. If and I'm gonna say allegedly, if that was, if it was done, but I think it was. I think he had a lot to do with the situation with Tupac and Biggie, as well
Absolutely.
as Kim Porter.
Absolutely.
They didn't call an ambulance, although they saw Pac lying there, swimming in the pool of his own blood, would be all the evidence Pac ever needed. He, of course, placed the hit, and Tupac is a soldier. This is not something that will be unanswered. Tupac didn't do well. He lost a testicle, but he survived. It was orchestrated, and Sean Puffy Combs was the orchestrator. Ooh, I've got some opinions on that, but I'm going to keep going. We're on chapter 7 called Threats. At this point, I knew I had to get away from him, but I was scared. Is he going to take my life if I try to escape?
She was scared. He was a powerful man and she knew that he could call someone and she would no longer be here. So she knew that about him.
Absolutely.
He had that reputation. He was a man of his word. If he wanted to get rid of you or do something, like, it was going to happen.
Right. And he flexes. You got to understand, a man that's living a double life, it's almost like when it comes to the woman that knows your secrets, it's almost like you I think him flexing his power and abusing her is in some way trying to compensate how he know she truly view him, right? It's almost like a psychological thing, right? I don't want my wife to view me as a bitch ass nigga because I'm doing this, right? With men. So he try to compensate that with power and abuse, and it's just nasty.
Right. Very.
It's nasty.
Just vile.
One February evening, I thought I had found my opportunity at dinner after an event. We were in a ritzy restaurant in a private booth. It was an exclusive setup. We were alone, but we were in public. Perfect. Shauna was on the phone talking to an unknown listener as he sat down. His words on that call will be etched into my mind forever. We're gonna release Who Shot Ya now. He waited for a response, then went on to say, of course they're gonna think B.I.G. was talking about Pac. That's the whole fucking point.
Okay, Who Shot Ya? That's when this was after Tupac, the first attempt on his life,
Right.
that we allegedly Diddy may have had something to do with it. And Biggie does a song, Who Shot Ya? So it comes out at the worst time. And P. Diddy is like, that's good. So he's basically creating the beef.
Right.
So Tupac hears this. Tupac said, them niggas had something to do with, me getting shot.
Now,
They trying to take my life.
Tupac already thought that when the song
Right.
Who Shot Ya
So
came
that
out,
just
it
confirmed.
just confirmed in Tupac mind, this shit is real.
But
right?
Biggie was talking
Yeah.
about something totally different. He was talking about what LL Cool J, correct?
Yeah, right. And
Okay.
I believe Tupac was still in jail. Tupac was still in jail, upstate New York, fighting a SA case. This was
Okay.
before Suge Knight bailed Tupac out of jail.
Okay.
Right, so Tupac is in jail, listening to this on the radio, like, wow, they coming at me now. Damn, I knew them niggas tried to kill me. Right,
Right.
now Suge Knight and Diddy got their own beef going on at the time. Right, they got into a fight down there in Atlanta. Suge Knight, right hand man, got killed by one of Diddy peoples. He got shot point blank in the face. right?
Dang.
Yeah, and this happened in front of everybody. Suge Knight, Diddy, Jermaine Dupri. It was a lot of celebrities out there that night,
Mm-hmm.
right? And Suge Knight had his own beef with Diddy. He saw that Tupac was sitting in jail. He's beefing with Diddy. So Suge Knight said, "Know what? I'm about to throw all my money behind Tupac. I'm about to help him get out of jail and bring him to the West Coast. He's gonna help me beef with Diddy since he already feel like them niggas shot him." Right? So this was like the perfect storm. This was like the perfect storm. That part was out of Diddy control at that point.
Mm-hmm.
When Suge Knight went and bailed Pac out of jail, that was something Diddy did not expect, right? And yeah, nasty work.
Dang, this is so crazy.
Nobody would give a
Nasty
fuck
work.
about this diss track against LL fucking Cool J. Do you know how much money we'll make with this kind of rap beef? Niggas battling after someone really got shot. This may not be the best time for conversation. Sean was finishing up. We dropped that shit tomorrow. He listened to the phone and then responded. There's gonna be blood in the streets. Niggas missed. Pac's alive. Let's capitalize on that shit. When he responds, it's gonna mean more money. He turned around and looked at me, spoke back into the phone. I'll call you back. Then hung up and spoke to me. What's wrong? I tried my best to give a fake smile at what I heard. After all, me and Pac were intimate. I responded, nothing. Sean wasn't fooled. Are you sure? His demeanor was threatening, but I responded as cool as I could muster to his intimidating stare. Yeah, of course. He took my hand, saying, that's wonderful. He began to squeeze my hand until it hurt as he continued. Because seeing you walk in the office while I was talking about killing that motherfucker and you not saying shit to me had me a little concerned. His grip was starting to hurt badly. You're hurting me. As he continued, he squeezed tighter. Your pretending you don't hear anything was a sign of your loyalty to me, not something I should be concerned with, right? I had no choice but to give him the answer he wanted. I knew I was trapped. But I responded, of course I'm loyal to you. He then let me go as he responded, good, and remember, I'm a big dick. I snatched my hand back in pain. He smiled and said, let's start off with a good wine. He snapped his fingers and his favorite wine was poured for him. They knew what Sean wanted, and what he wanted, he got. I'm trapped. I have to be strategic. It's going to be hard to leave the glamour, the glitz, the lifestyle. I mean, this man just snapped his fingers in one of the most exclusive restaurants in New York City and they poured his drink of choice. The bottle of wine is $800 and this is $19.94. This list to get in this place is 6 months long. And if you're somebody like Mayor Giuliani has a table here tonight also. If I got up and walked out, I would be safe, but what about tomorrow? He sipped his wine and smiled. You're not drinking? He pointed to my glass and of course a waiter filled it. They all knew what I liked as well. Sean has a bad temper. He yells sometimes. And okay, he's roughed me up once or twice, but he never punched me. He never bruised me. And he never hit Quincy. I would not have stood for that. He never laid a hand on my son. At the time, I never thought of him touching Quincy in any way. Then the significance of what he said hit me. Is he mad at Tupac over me? I'm the big dick? Oh my God. The last time he put his hands on me, it was because I enjoyed Jamie Foxx too much.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
Y'all remember when Jamie Foxx was in the hospital? Looked like he was close to death's door, right? And I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm really it's really kind of crazy how this is going on. So he said that he felt like Diddy was trying to poison him. He said somebody was trying to poison him. And I think he said that Diddy was trying to poison him. So Diddy, Sean, or Diddy and Jamie
Foxx, right?
And Kim, they all had a relationship together, like a menage a trois.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Nasty work. This is nasty.
So I wonder why maybe Jamie was about to tell some secrets. Maybe is that the reason why he ended up getting ill?
Right.
and he almost was gone out of here. I don't know, and they never really explained what actually happened. He never went into detail to me that I heard of to say what happened to him. Why was he so ill? Hmm.
Right. I never heard nothing definitive as far as what was really wrong with Jamie Foxx. Like nobody can. I haven't heard exactly what.
This is insane.
Nah, she right.
Shit, he enjoyed Jamie too. Who? He gets so
Oh my
insanely
God.
jealous. It's not fair. He wants to bring other men into the bedroom, but
He
gets
enjoyed
jealous when he does. Damn, you're
Jamie.
quiet tonight, he
Jamie
said.
was over there wailing.
Jamie was tearing her up too. He was tearing that ass up. Excuse
Both
me.
of them.
Woo. Yeah. Yeah.
They
I'm like,
crazy.
what? I'm
Both
thinking
of them.
that that's crazy. Jamie Wyland. Okay, let's keep going.
Snapping at me back into the present. Asked the question that was burning in my mind since I walked into the office. What does Chris think of this? He looked at me coolly and said, his fat ass just better keep doing music. Whoa. A third guest was escorted
Mm.
over by security.
So he
Yes, he
didn't really
was
like Biggie like that. Biggie was just a money, what they call it, a money cow or something like that to him.
a cash cow. But
Oh
at this
yeah, I was gonna
point,
say money.
yeah, but at this point, Puffy is starting to realize Biggie isn't happy at Bad Boys and he's looking for a way out of his contract.
Wow.
Right? So now Puff like, yeah, all right. Puff looking for a way to stop that or
Okay.
prevent that rather. Like, I don't want my main artist to leave. What I'm gonna do, right?
So with a man like Diddy, he likes so much power. He has to control everything and everybody around him. So
Yeah, I
he wants
mean,
to control another grown man and from not getting away from his record
right.
label and going to another record label. So
If
he's
Biggie
going
leave, he not making money. If Biggie
right.
leave off the record label, Puffy done. He ain't making no money. He don't have no artist to replace Biggie and keep the label going. At that point, he had nobody but Biggie that was keeping the lights on that bad boy, right? So he like, damn, how can I make him stay, right? But you already, he ain't eating. Like, what you want this man to do, right? Big at that point could go start his own label,
Yeah, because he like, I can make more money on my own. I don't need you.
right?
I'm making this label. I'm making you.
Mm-hmm.
So and I think when I saw the movie, I think that's kind of when he was like, man, I could do this by myself and really make some good money for me and my family.
Right.
And like I was saying before, in to me with Diddy looking at Biggie like a cash cow, like, nah, you ain't going nowhere. And most of the time, most artists when they pass on, they make more money
In
dead
death,
than
right?
alive.
Absolutely.
And I've seen it. I'm like, you know how a person, you might hear of them every now and then when they're actually alive, then all of a
Mm-hmm.
sudden when they die,
Everybody.
everybody's buying their music, everybody's talking about them, they're doing documentaries. I mean, it's just an ongoing thing. So Diddy was going to do what was best for him and him only.
Right.
Sean motioned for him to sit. A waiter walked over to Sean Carter. A waiter walked over to Sean Carter and asked, would you like something?
Now, Sean Carter, for some of you guys that don't know, allegedly this is
Jay-Z.
Jay-Z. Okay.
Jay-Z.
So, like I said, you can't really take everything. I would say take it for face value. We don't know. This is but I believe a lot of this. That's why you always
Absolutely.
would see Jay-Z and Diddy
Right.
being kind of close. They work really well. They work together. You see them with
Mm-hmm.
Beyonce and Diddy. All of them were like a big family, like they were friends. So
Right.
this story is not really.
It
It's
ain't too
probably not
far
far
fetched.
off.
It ain't too far. It ain't too far fetched.
It's not.
If it ain't completely true, it
Carter
ain't too far from the truth.
Right. I can agree with you on that.
responded, no thank you, then said hello to me with a smile. Smiling, I replied, hey, Carter, and took a sip of my drink. The Shawns may share a bed together from time to time, but thankfully, I was never asked to join.
The Shans. So that means
God damn, Jay.
Beyonce. That means Jay-Z and Diddy. Is that what I'm hearing?
Nasty work.
But they
Or
never
she could mean
include.
just, or she could just mean Jay-Z and Diddy.
Okay.
Nasty
His
work.
nervous laughter, like, what am I reading right now? Carter went on to speak to Sean. I thought we were meeting in private. Sean replied with a nonchalant shrug. I had to discuss something with her. It's fine. Go ahead. He wielded this kind of
So
power. Carter
Jay-Z get
shifted
there
uncomfortably.
and like, damn, Diddy, I thought it was only supposed to be me and you. What Kim doing here? Right? And Diddy like, well, I had to talk to Kim about something, so I had her come over anyway. That's wild. But
What? It's
nasty
crazy.
work.
In his chair before continuing. It's true. Chris and Pac were about to start their own label. Sean slammed his fist against the table, shouting, doesn't anyone have any fucking loyalty? Carter, well, that's not what's happening now, right? Sean peered at Carter with distrust. Why the fuck are you eager to share this with me? Chris is your man. Fuck, he brought you on and you're stabbing him in the back? Carter responded with indignity. First, I'm tired of being that nigga's son. I need to come out
Jay-Z,
from under his damn.
Jay-Z went to Diddy and told Diddy Tupac and Biggie planning on doing their own thing.
Oh, so he's snitching on them about
Yeah.
trying to, get out
Yeah.
among. Okay.
And people were saying Biggie is like the king of New York. This nigga coming like Biggie got the number one spot, and Jay-Z like, I want that spot. I want, right? I want to be the best, right? I want that spot. So he went to Diddy like, we could come together and kill two birds with one stone. We can help each other.
That's some snake behavior. Do
It's
you hear
nasty
me?
work.
Talk about cutthroat industry.
Nasty work.
Jeez.
Damn shadow. Sean smiled slightly. Whoa. Okay. I respect that.
Okay, I'm gonna say this. This is why not Bombi, Pimp C did not like Jay-Z. He did not see Pimp C was a big fan of Tupac. He was a big fan of Tupac. Tupac could do nothing wrong. And anybody that didn't like Tupac or didn't ride for Tupac, he didn't fool with you. So when Pimp C knew, he must have knew something. And Pimp C, was taken out too. They said that
Absolutely.
Jay-Z had something to do with it. I don't know. That's allegedly, right? So Pimp C did not want to do the big pimping with Jay-Z. He was just like, he was
Right.
against it. And Bombi, kind of just, he went ahead and did it because Bun B wanted him to, and so he went ahead and did it, but he hated. It was one of his friends said he hated Jay-Z, and I believed he knew that Jay-Z had he had a part to play in getting rid of, besides Diddy, Tupac. So that makes more sense now.
Okay. Absolutely.
Carter kept going. On top of that, this nigga is making that move, and it should be with me. Sean looked at Carter blankly. Pac put Chris on. You know this. What's this really all about, Carter? Don't fucking try to play me. The Jay-Z of today wasn't born yet. This young Sean Carter was in over his head. Cornered, he had to spell it out. I want his spot. Ambition. Now this is a man I can work with. Sean made a grandiose gesture towards Carter. Waiter, get this motherfucker whatever he wants. Carter smiled. Thank you. Sean.
So Jay-Z tells Diddy, I want Biggie's spot.
Right. I want his spot. This shit nasty work. And what reason would
Responded,
Kim Porter have to lie?
Right.
She have no reason to lie about Jay-Z. She have no reason to lie. Word. She had no reason to add Jay-Z to this book. No reason if it wasn't true.
honesty and ambition. We're going to make a lot of bread together. Carter ordered a drink as he stated again. Guess he won't be leaving with that nigga to do their own label now. Sean responded with a normal air of arrogance. Why don't you just let me worry about that? I look at this as my cue to escape. I told Sean I'm going to go ahead and get back to Quincy. Sean was wrapped up in his conversation with Carter and barely noticed as he excused me. Have the limo drop you off. We didn't eat. He didn't care. I smiled and kissed him on the cheek and left. Oh my gosh. I feel a tightness in my
Nasty
chest.
work.
This is, whoa. All right, chapter 8, Kadada. Actress, model, and fashion designer
Quincy Jones'
Kadada
daughter.
Jones was Tupac Shakur's fiance and the daughter of a record producer, Quincy Jones, and actress Peggy Lipton. Being around other celebrities was just a part of life. Meeting Kadada was just one of those events, and as time went on, we became close. We hung out together, went shopping, and so on. It was just about the same time that I met Kimora. Those were the days, or so I thought. We always had girl talk, and the fact that she was dating someone I had previously been with wasn't a source of contention. We didn't get jealous of each other. It was just girl talk stuff. No, I did not become intimate with Kadada.
You right,
Kimora was
King.
too jealous for that. Yes, Kadada knew about Kimora, Sean, and I all being together sexually. Of course.
Wait a minute. Kimora was her best friend, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Kimora was also having sex with Kim and
They
Diddy.
all was sleeping together. They all was
Oh
sleeping
my
together.
God.
I don't even see how Russell Simmons could be one of the exes. Like, yeah, like I don't see how Russell Simmons' name isn't mentioned in his book. Andre Harrell name isn't mentioned in his book in No Sex Act. And that's like almost impossible. Like, right? Like I haven't heard her really tell details about Russell Simmons, Andre Harrell, details about Clyde Davis, right? Like she haven't gave us those details, and those can be the X's.
This
Those
is
names could
just
be the X's.
this is just so
She's
weird.
saying everybody name except for the powerful men. We already know Diddy fucked. You know what I'm saying? So they can be the X's in the book. This is wild.
So it's just like everybody to me in Hollywood or in
Mm-hmm.
this industry, in any type of entertainment industry, like they just sleep with each other, basically.
Mm-hmm. Wow, this is
Or she did.
nasty
We
work.
shared that kind of thing. We were open and honest with each other about almost everything. A true friendship, except I couldn't be open and honest about everything. Not anymore. Sean made sure of that. Kadada and Pac were the greatest couple. He was always so cool and yes, sexy. She was so beautiful and fun. Before all the tension and beef, we used to all hang out together and it was always dope vibes. But Pac's shooting and the suspicions surrounding Sean and Jimmy, the vibes between Kadada and I weren't always perfect. Then came that night. Award shows weren't anything new for us at this point. We were all dolled up and the men groomed. We didn't choose what we wore. A stylist prepared our color palettes, a makeup artist did our makeup, and hairstylist did our hair. That's just the way of things. We shared the best stylist in the business. Sometimes we would all go to the studio for an event to get our measurements taken, but this time Kadada seemed different. I felt like something was wrong. But when I probed, she wouldn't say anything. Then the day of the event was here. We would all see each other inside. Even though Sean was my man, as far as props, I had nothing on Kadada. Being Quincy Jones's daughter had perks, and superstardom was among them. Pac wasn't there. She saw us, she came over to our table. She sat around kicking it in a very dope vibe. Sean knew he was going to clean up in this award show. He had all but taken over the East Coast musically. With all the hits, there really being no way he wouldn't. Bad Boy is a Hall of Fame stuff now. and Sean P. Diddy Combs knew it. Sean smiled at Kadada as she sat at our table, but something about the smile didn't seem authentic. Soon I would know why. He's sick when he has a grudge against someone. As she sat, Sean said, Bad boy is gonna clean the fuck up. From his table with Faith, Chris replied, Hell yeah. And that new shit we busting out gonna have these niggas sick. Kadada signaled for the waiter to pour her glass of ginger ale that sat over at her table. As the waiter refreshed her drink, she said, Pac's music is gonna get some love too. Sean grimaced. Oh, come on, Sean. I know y'all got your differences, but you have to admit, the man makes great music. Sean looked at me, the corner of his eye, then took another sip of his favorite cognac and replied, Bad boy got the hottest music on the fucking planet, but I'm tripping. Everybody got to get their shine, right? Kadada sighed. Sean, Tupac thinks you're involved with him getting shot. You two were so close. You need to make this right. Sean responded indignantly. Why the fuck would that nigga think I had anything to do with it? Kadada retorted. Sean, can you blame him? Sean was obviously not happy with the question by his reply. Hell yeah, I blame him. We had a good thing going. All of us. That nigga turned on me and he has a fucking balls to blame me for his shooting? The indignity he mangled to spew out while lying through his teeth was something I did not expect. I was thrown
Nasty
back
work.
for a moment before interjecting. Da, do we have to have this tonight? It's Sean's big night. Kamor heard the ruckus and made her way over to our table as well. She sat down and said, Hey, everybody, with that big dimpled smile. I smiled and replied, Hey. Kadada also seemed happy to see her as well. She said, Hey, what's up, Kimmy? Kamor, never the type to hold her tongue, went straight at it. The whole place is buzzing with the fact that you're sitting over here accusing Sean of having pox shot. Y'all kind of loud. She laughed. Kadada seemed embarrassed as she looked around to see everybody staring and whispering. But she wasn't about to back off. In fact, she doubled down. Anybody here not talking about it ain't real anyway. We all know Sean was behind it.
Right.
Kimura forced a smile. Honey, we don't have to do this here. Kadada made clear that she was not going to be silenced as she continued. Oh, let's not hurt the feelings of
Right.
Sean Puffy Combs.
She
He
holding her
only had
man down.
one of the most prolific rappers.
Yeah, I would have been that doing the same thing.
She
Like
holding her man down.
I probably couldn't even sit at the table with them. I just to be honest with you, because I'd be ready to take my heel off and clock him upside his head.
Right.
Like I
But
would be trying to beat
her
him.
plan, her plan was to go sit at the table and embarrass him, put him on blast in front of everybody.
Oh,
Cause
okay.
since Tupac been shot, the whole industry act like they don't know what's going on. Tupac sitting in jail for a SA case, something he ain't do. This is what his wife is feeling like, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody turning their back on my man. They set him up, they kill him, and I will not kill him, almost kill him. And now you
Mm-hmm.
sitting here in the fucking Grammys like you on top of the world. Like, nah, she feeling some type of way. Yeah, her. Yeah, she
Mm.
feeling some type of way. So all of this was planned. Remember,
Wow.
her and Kim was friends. They was preparing for the award show together.
Right.
Right? They doing their
Mm-hmm.
outfits. And she said right before the show, she started acting funny, but she wouldn't tell me why.
Mm-hmm.
That's because she knew mentally she had to prepare herself to come in here in front of all these rich folks and show her motherfucking ass. Because that's exactly what the hell she did.
Yeah, she show
She knew what
ass.
the fuck she was about to do.
Right.
I'm about to shed some light on my baby situation. I don't like this shit. And
Right.
she holding her man down.
I
That's
know
what the
that's
hell
right.
she doing. She holding her man
In the
down.
game shot. Sean clenched his hands into a fist. If this was anyone else, this would have turned ugly. But this was Quincy Jones's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Sean was a monster in the streets, well feared by men that he knew, but he did not want any of the smoke Quincy Jones could bring. Kadada could continue with impunity. Sean could not touch her. Christopher and Mary, both wanting to defend the super producer that made them famous, both started to stand and make their way over to the table. But Sean signaled them off with a firm motion of his hand. They remained in their seats, watching helplessly. Kadada seemed to be on a full rampage. You're not safe in the street, Sean. You think you're untouchable. Kimura seemed almost red in the face when she grabbed Kadada by the hand, saying, I gotta go to the restroom. Kadada, not willing to stop, snatched her hand away, yelling, Let go of me. Kimura needed her to get a grip and said sternly, as a parent speaking to a child mid tantrum, Da. Kadada turned to her and yelled, What? Kimura nodded, and toward the crowded room, Kadada looked around. Here she deflated slightly. Kimura, now in control, spoke firm but softly. Let's go powder our nose. Kadada nodded with a grimace and gave a sharp look back at Sean as she walked away. Lots of action there. As the tension slowly melted away, I asked Sean, You okay? Sean didn't reply at first. He looked around, saw that no one was really paying attention now, that the ruckus had died down, and stood to get the picture of ginger ale from Kadada's table. He poured himself a drink from it, looked around again, saw no one paying attention, and put the picture under the table. What was he doing? Then I heard a distinct sound of liquid being
Diddy,
poured into the
wow.
liquid.
Wait a minute. Don't tell me this man is urinating.
In the middle of the goddamn award show, sitting VIP with celebrities all around him, he went and picked up the picture of ginger ale from Quincy Jones' daughter table, and he sat there in front of everybody and pissed in her soda.
This man is so vile. And this is allegedly. But I can actually see him doing this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yo.
God.
Oh my God. Liquid poured into liquid is funny. Peeing in the pitcher? He smiled at me as he brought the pitcher back from under the table and finally replied to me, I'm good. He then stood and returned the picture to the table. I was in awe. I knew he had a bad temper, but this was disgusting. I'll never
Right.
eat and drink something after we have an argument again. Kadada and Kimura made their way back to Kadada's table to sit. As Sean watched on quietly, Sean made small talk. Which songs do you think that they'll give me awards for? Super narcissist. As Kadada poured her drink, Sean's bodyguards made their way over to the table. I think he stopped her from drinking as everyone just sat and watched. Jane risked incurring Sean's wrath. If I'm right, revealed, I replied, Babe, your catalog's about to be crazy. It could be a lot of songs. Sean glared at Kadada's table the entire night. Chapter 9, Going Back to Cali. We had a wild night.
Okay, I'm going to stop right there. You want to do a part 2, Tyron?
Yeah, we could definitely do a part 2 whenever you're
Okay.
ready. But this was good. This is wild. Diddy
Wow.
is
So
in the
when we
ginger ale.
in the ginger ale, so Gene had he kind of basically stopped her from drinking it, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we're gonna do part 2, and part 2 is gonna start when Biggie goes to Cali. He's on his way to Cali to promote his new song, as well as his new
Album.
record, his
Yeah.
album, and that's the song "Who Shot You" is also on that. But the name of the album is
Life
what
after death.
again?
Life after death.
Life after death. So that's where we're going to start the next time we do this. We're going to start there. He's going to
Absolutely.
promote that album, and yeah, that's where we're going to start the next time. This was really exciting. I'm glad that I did this. When I saw your live this morning, I was like, this is something I would actually like to go over.
Right.
So yeah, so
It's a pretty fascinating story, man.
it is.
Even if it's all not completely true, it's
Mhm.
just to get into the mind and personality and psyche of Diddy, right?
Right.
Back then, right? A lot of that things he's accused of today, you can see how or why it's possible, and it do make sense. Nigga, you did this shit, right? Like, because you was doing this shit way back then, right?
Way
And it's
back.
wow.
He was
Yeah, but I
manipulative.
definitely enjoy it. I definitely enjoyed this.
Yeah, he was so manipulative, controlling. I mean, if the devil had a son, he is definitely that.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, this guy, he's off the hook. But you know, I have heard of men and women wanting that power so much that they will do anything,
Right.
selling their soul to get what they want.
Right.
And
And
that's unfortunate. Guys, thank
something
you.
worse than that, something
Right,
worse than getting the power is the fear of losing it.
right.
Right.
The
And
fear of
that's
losing it.
exactly. And that's what makes you very dangerous. But thank you for your time, baby girl.
Thank you so much. I know you've been busy today, early this morning, so you get you
Right.
some rest, and I will be contacting you on the next day. We will do this part 2.
All
Okay.
right. Definitely. Peace and love.
Love you to Reese's Pieces. Guys, thank you so much for coming through. Vanessa, Young Riaz, Amber, Marissa, Machine. Yeah, let's see who else came. Bama, CP3. Let's see who else came in to show some love and some support. Uncle Charles. Thank you for coming through, Uncle Charles. Thank you. Let's see. Let me go up. Yeah, this was interesting to me. I mean, I don't know, not too many people were interested in that, but I definitely wanted to cover it because I've been kind of curious about her life. Hey, CC, good to see you. Xander, thank you for coming through. Appreciate it. I hope I'm pronouncing your was it Xandra? Xandra. Thank you, Xandra, for coming through. Thank you, Xandra. And who else came through to show up? Ryan, Machine Fit, Randy, Mindful, Reggie, Cam, The Beef, Cutting Edge, Empress Lonnie One Love, Chatting with Miss V. Thank you so much for coming through. Marissa, Real Topics. Let's see, I'm gonna go up. Ellie, Just Saying, Duke, Slim, Russell, Kevin, Bolo, Riders. Let's see. Thank you so much for any Cash App, Brainwaves, Cash Apps, or Super Chats. I really appreciate you guys. Darren, Arabia. I think I said everybody. If I forgot someone, please charge it to my head and not my heart. But I hope that I got everybody. And if I didn't, thank you so much for showing some love and some support. I appreciate you for your time. And we're going to do a part 2. Maybe sometime next week, we're going to do part 2. Excuse me, a part 2 on this. I really think this is an exciting story. Goten. Oh, hey, Goten. I forgot to say hello to you. So please come back to see the part 2. It's some more information that some of you guys are not aware of, and some maybe if you have seen any footage on this book. But I definitely think y'all should come back and see what happens. I'm kind of excited because I'm not gonna go and play it anymore. I only saw some of it when I saw Tyron's live, so I didn't want to finish it because I wanted to be excited when I did the other live, so my reactions can be authentic. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of want to wait until we come back together and talk about this. Man, it's some sick people out here. So if you ever find yourself in a situation with anybody like this, please, number one, don't put yourself in that position. But if you so happenly get fooled by somebody, because there's so many people that are great pretenders, just know that you don't have to put up with nobody abusing you or treating you in a way that you don't deserve. So yeah, shout out to everybody. Guys, thank you so much. Love you to Reese's Pieces. Have a good rest of your afternoon, evening, and hope you guys have a wonderful Monday. Talk to you guys later. Bye.
Salina.
It's a vibe, baby. Oak Cliff girl, can't make you change my world. Damn, you're so fine, girl. Oak Cliff girl, put them heels on and prove
welcome to Selena's Couch, where you are welcome to be free to be yourself. So you can lay your head on my couch, on my pillows.
We can do whatever we wanna do now. I'm in my bag right now, and I got a feeling, babe. Yeah, you gon' be my number one lover. Spend the night making love to each other, with the lights on top of the covers. Just me and you, babe. And I feel like you're my
Love you to Reese's Pieces.
Get you a word. Nana nana boo boo.